a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily Podcast is a service of CNC News. It's brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. Congresswoman Louise Slaughter of Rochester is hailing the agreement to end the government shutdown and back away from the fiscal cliff. Slaughter said after 2 weeks of anguish, the American people can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The Fairport Democrat said she hopes this never happens again and members of Congress start working together once more. A Brooklyn lawyer's attempt to block the casino referendum in court was thrown out by a state Supreme Court justice on the grounds that it was lacking in legal merit. The New York Times said the court ruled that Eric Snyder missed the filing deadline to change the language of the referendum, which is to change the Constitution and allow casino gambling statewide. Lawyer Eric Snyder objects to what he feels is advocacy language in the referendum, describing it as a jobs and economy booster without talking about the downside of gambling. Snyder says he'll seek an emergency injunction from the appellate division and keep trying to force a change. The speculation mill has been grinding away since the start of the month over whether or not Lieutenant Governor Bob Duffy will stay on the ticket when Governor Andrew Cuomo runs for re-election next year. Of course, the governor has yet to announce his re-election plans, and that, says Duffy, that's the point. The lieutenant governor issued a statement saying if he runs, it will be with Governor Cuomo, but Duffy said it's premature to talk about his role before the governor announces his plans for next year. Duffy said he and Cuomo agree that premature talk about politics interferes with governing. He said the two will discuss future plans at an appropriate time next year. And that makes it sound more like the lieutenant governor plans to dance with the guy what brung him. Greece Democrats have sent a written complaint to the New York State Board of Elections. They say 3 Republican candidates failed to disclose significant funding they received from the Monroe County Republican Party on their financial reports. Greece Democratic leader Dave Gerritsen said David Michael Berry, Gino Nitti, and Rick Antelli all received funding from the county GOP, money for yard signs, flyers, and campaign literature. There's nothing illegal about that, but it does have to be reported.
New York election law requires that every penny in a political campaign that comes in and goes out be reported. In this case, these candidates failed to report money coming in and going out in their primary campaigns.
That's at least a technical violation of state election law. Democratic supervisor candidate Dick Beebe said his campaign hasn't really been affected by the missing disclosures, but
what we're trying to bring here to Greece is a more open and honest government. And this is one indication of these people that are running for office are not being that way. And, it's time to step up and, be honest with the people here.
The Greece Republican Party leader, Jerry Helfer, said the Monroe County Republican Committee itself reported that spending directly to the state.
And it is then the responsibility of individual treasurers of individual candidates' campaigns to also disclose that information on the periodic reports that are made to the Board of Elections.
And Helfer says he has no direct knowledge of what happened after those numbers were passed along. Crime statistics for the city of Rochester show a near 19% increase in robberies this past summer over the summer of 2012, the highest third-quarter rate in the past 5 years. As in previous quarters, much of the robbery surge is because of smartphone thefts. That's the bad news, but there's good news too, according to Chief James Shepard. The number of burglaries is down by nearly 11%, and the city has its second lowest rate of larceny in years. Motor vehicle theft is the lowest in 25 years. While violent crimes in total and homicides in particular occurred at the same numbers as last year, there have been more shootings, 173 shooting victims this year. Most of them survived. Of the 30 homicides so far, 20 have been solved by arrest, and 886 guns have been taken off the streets. The Green Party candidate for mayor of Rochester says he would establish an independent civilian police review board if he's elected. Alex White said there's an antagonistic relationship between residents and the police. He said an independent review of police conduct will restore trust. White's other steps would be to fire Chief Shepard, put patrol officers back in cars patrolling streets instead of, as he said, directing traffic downtown, and to reduce response times by having officers dedicated to particular neighborhoods. 2 Western New York teenagers are charged with committing a string of burglaries at summer homes in Livingston and Wyoming counties. The Livingston County Sheriff's Office said James Erb of Castile and Tyler Carpenter of Portageville, both in their late teens, were charged with burglary, and they will likely face additional charges. A third suspect, a juvenile, was turned over to his parents. Under Sheriff Jim Cesniak said the teens were targeting seasonal homes, stealing guns and ammo, hunting gear, generators, clothing, even motorcycles, and a number of homes were significantly damaged. Links to these and other stories are on GreaseNYLive.com. I'm Bud Lowell.